Hi guys, I'm Laura Vitale. Today we are making the ultimate chili. I have made this recipe for literally the past 10 years, and if you've been following me for a long time, then this recipe will look very familiar to you. It's not that much different than the one that I shared with you over 10 years ago, but it does have a few little tweaks in there that I think make it even better, and it's just so good. I have gotten so many DMs from you actually as of late, telling me that one of them in particular was so funny. It said, "Your chili recipe is the best. Wendy's could never." I don't know why. That made me laugh for hours. I don't know why that made me laugh so much, but it did. I also heard that you guys use this recipe in chili cook-offs, which makes me really happy because it's such a simple recipe, but the ratios of everything is kind of perfect. And I'm going to talk to you about a couple little tweaks that I've made along the way that kind of make this even better. The first thing is I'm adding some ground sausage along with the ground beef. It kind of adds another element of flavor. This is just bulk sausage. It's Italian sweet sausage. You could also use hot. It's totally up to you. It is divine. Absolutely divine. Do not skimp on this. It's amazing. The original recipe also calls for a little bit of red wine, which I occasionally do, but I much prefer a lager. So that is what I'm adding today. Lots of spices, which you can also use whole chili, like dry chilies that you dehydrate. Like you could use an Anaheim chili, you could use some Guajillo chilies. I like to use plain, really good quality chili powder though, simply because it makes everything really, really easy and there's no specialty ingredients for you to look out for. So there is that. In my big Dutch oven, I have a little bit of oil just getting hot, and I'm gonna add my beef and my sausage, and I'm just gonna cook this until it's pretty much fully cooked through. I wanna render a lot of the fat, so I'm just gonna let that go, and I will come in here to break it up occasionally. One of the things that I've actually removed from this recipe is bell peppers. I removed bell pepper because it was getting into like taco soup territory for me with a bell pepper. I don't know why, so I removed it. I also felt like the pepper was just a little too assertive, a little too strong, and I just took it out. You can leave it in if you want to, because remember, you're the boss applesauce and you can do whatever your heart desires, but I do prefer leaving it out. I'm just gonna take a big onion and I'm going to finely mince it along with about 4 to 5 cloves of garlic. I will let my soul guide me into how many I think I need for this recipe. The rest of the ingredients you'll need are very simple and we'll go through them as we go, but for spices you need chili powder, cumin. I like using Mexican cumin, Mexican chili powder, and Mexican oregano. I think they're the best you can get your hands on. And then I'm using some diced tomatoes. The kind that I use also have garlic and herbs in them, but you can use plain diced tomatoes. You could use Rotel. Any diced tomato mixture will do. You'll need some beef stock, and you will need some tomato paste. And that's pretty much like a salt and pepper, obviously. But for now, I'm just gonna keep my eye on my beef and my sausage, get that all cooked up, and then chop up all my onion and garlic. My sausage and beef are just about fully cooked through. You can see it didn't really render a ton of fat. My beef was really lean, so I'm not going to worry about straining anything, but if your beef and your sausage are rendering a ton of fat, you're going to want to remove some of it because there's just nothing worse than like a thick layer of grease on top of any soup or stew or chili. Like I like a little fat equals flavor, but I don't want to be put off by a lot of grease. So I'm going to go ahead and add my onions and my garlic. I also have a jalapeno here that I am going to put in whole later. I'm not going to put it in right now simply because I don't want to chop it because it'll make things really spicy because it's a really spicy jalapeno. It's some that we grow in our garden and I freeze them, which is why this looks like a little bit wet. It's because I freeze them and then I just put them whole into any soup and stew. It's fabulous because I'm adding a lot of chili powder and the chili powder is obviously spicy. I don't want to add a ton of spice. Otherwise, there's a good chance that I might not be able to get Mia to eat it. So, but you can put as much or as little as you want. And I went ahead and added a pinch of salt. And I'm just going to cook all of these together now, like medium heat. I'm going to knock it back down a bit for about like 10 minutes. One of the things that makes chili or really any soup and stew or sauce really good is not necessarily how much ingredients you put in it, but it's sort of how you allow each ingredient to really shine by developing its flavor to its full potential. If I were to go ahead and add all my liquid now, it would be good, but once I give the onions and the garlic a really good amount of time to truly concentrate and cook down and for those flavors to develop, then it makes the final dish so much better. So just give it a little bit of time and everything cooked together and for those flavors to develop and those natural sugars to come out of the onions and really add just phenomenal flavor. Again, about 10 minutes over medium heat. For spices, I already told you, you've got Mexican chili powder, cumin, oregano, and I also have a little bit of brown sugar to offset the chili and the tomato product, but I'm just gonna keep my eye on that. And that's it for now. That looks fantastic. You can see at the bottom of the pan, lots of good things are happening. So now the next thing is we are going to add all the spices and the brown sugar to the meat. Again, you want to bloom those spices. You want those flavors to really come alive and toast the natural oils in the spices before adding your liquid. So adding them to your pot is immediately going to do so many wonderful things and make such a big difference as if you were just literally adding them to your liquid. And they just have to bloom in there for like 30 seconds. It doesn't take very long at all. In fact, you can just almost immediately start to smell them as soon as they hit that heat. And it's fantastic. Just keep everything moving because spices, especially when you've got brown sugar in there too, they can burn. So you just want to give it some time and just make sure you're mixing the entire time so nothing burns. And this is also the time now that they've blended in better. I'm going to go ahead and add the tomato paste. Same concept. Tomato paste has just been sitting in a tube, really concentrated for a very long time. So we just need to give it a little bit of love and kind of wake it up and have it marry with those spices for just like 30 more seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and add my beer. Add a little bit more than that. Awesome. You don't need a ton, but it does make a really big difference. You can completely leave it out if you don't want to add it. I'm adding, how much is this? 12 ounces? Yeah, so let's say I'm adding about 8. But again, you don't want it, leave it out. You don't even have to let that cook out or anything. That is good enough, because this is gonna take a long time to cook, so I'm not really concerned. I've got a mixture here of kidney beans and diced tomatoes. Bada bing, bada boom, as my good friend Tony Soprano would say. Beef broth. Now this is gonna look soupy right now, but remember, this is going to get a couple hours of cooking time. And I'm not adding anything else right now. Now I'm not gonna add any salt just yet because I already seasoned my ground beef mixture. I'm going to just partially cover this with a lid, turn it down to low, let it cook a couple of hours. I'm just gonna do this like that. That's it. Oh wait, Ashpe, Maro, jalapenos. Add the jalapeno right in. It's a mild heat. Can't believe I almost forgot. Now that, in my humble opinion, is what good chili should look like. It is thick. It is so good. I've already tasted it for seasoning. I'm not adding any additional salt because remember, I seasoned the ground beef with the onions and everything really well with salt, and then the beef stock's really salty, so I don't feel the need to add anything extra. It is not soupy. It is complete perfection. It is deep in flavor. It's spicy. It is so good. I am somebody that, like, I would throw down for a bowl of chili. Like, if you came to me with, like, and teasing me that I could have chili, but maybe I couldn't, I would throw it down to get a bowl of chili. You know what I'm saying? I'm a chili girl. You can eat it as is. I always have to have shredded cheddar, which it's upstairs, and I'm not getting it right now, and sour cream and scallions. That's just how I prefer it, but you absolutely don't have to. You can eat just with sour cream. You can eat it over chips. You can do really whatever your heart desires, but I do love a little scallion and sour cream situation. And like I said, some cheddar that I just did not grab. But that's okay, because it's actually not dinner time yet. This is my pre-dinner snack. And just look at the consistency of this chili. I love a thick bowl of chili. What can I say? Just a little bit, because like I said, this is indeed a pre-dinner snack. And then I have to have a little sour cream. Just a little bit. Because it does also like cool it off because it's so spicy and lots of green onions. And then, as you know, I do one of these just to disperse the cooling effect of sour cream throughout the chili. It's gonna be hot. Wendy's could never. You were right. It's just so good. It's one of those things that it gets better as it sits. If you make a double batch, it freezes really well, and when you reheat it, it tastes even better. Like I said, it's good with anything. My husband loves chili. It's one of those meals that you can definitely make a big pot of and eat it for a few days, and you'll never get tired of it. Like, this is just the best recipe. It is. It's easy, straightforward, it's simple. It doesn't require any fancy ingredients, but the balance of everything is absolutely perfect. The written recipe is on LaraInTheKitchen.com. I hope you enjoyed spending time with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.